The following is an encore presentation of the State of Greater Western New York Report. The original broadcast aired on August 19th, 2021. Have you ever wondered about the history of our region? We're going to be taking a little bit of a deep dive into Wayne County, Palmyra, to learn a little bit about some of the history there, some of the buildings that you can go see, but there'll be a little bit more than that, and it may just spook you. So stay tuned for this version of the State of Greater Western New York Report, and it's brought to you by... We'll get it. It's brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard. The Linden Honey Falls Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history. Welcome, everyone, to this edition of the State of Greater Western New York Report. Join us each episode as we discuss fantastic topics ranging from history to science to the strange and the wonderful, as well as the treasured spirit with which our region has infused America. We challenge you to consider all things Greater Western New York, from our region's very beginnings to how it inspires, how it empowers, and why it is so admired. Here's the host of the State of Greater Western New York Report, Chris Carosa.
Hi there, and welcome again to this week's version of the State of Greater Western New York Report. I'm Chris Carosa, your host, and we've got some tremendous guests tonight. It's going to be very exciting. With us, we have Bonnie Hayes and Tracy Murphy from Historic Palmyra, and they're going to tell us some interesting things that you could go see, and if you're not being too careful, they might just see you. So let's start with Bonnie. Bonnie, how are you doing today?
Hi, Chris. I'm doing wonderful, thank you, in this kind of dreary, drippy day.
Well, it's hopefully that dreariness will go away. But why don't you start off by just telling us a little bit about Historic Palmyra, maybe who you are, who Tracy is, and all those exciting things that we all want to know about Historic Palmyra.
It's a pleasure for me to talk about that. My name is Bonnie Hayes, and it's Hays, no E, like Hayes, Kansas. We are at Historic Palmyra, which is the Historic Society of Palmyra, New York. We have 5 amazing museums within a 1-block area. We're located just steps from the Erie Canal. With me is Tracy Murphy. Her title is Deputy Director. Tracy is an amazing historic person. She loves the museums, and we work together and make a pretty good team, I would say. We've worked together for a very long time, and I think you'll find she might do a little of the darkness. I'm going to tell you about our museums during the day.
That's excellent, Bonnie. Tell us what you might want to do is shift your camera a little bit so we can get your head higher in the screen. And put your name underneath there. As you're doing that and working on that, I'll just say Palmyra is located in Wayne County. It's not that too far away from everybody, and it's pretty close to the thruway if you're ever interested in going there. So Bonnie, tell us a little bit about the buildings and facilities there. There, you could probably just actually walk closer to the camera.
Closer.
Yeah, closer. There we go. And then shift it a little bit.
Are you seeing me good?
I'm just seeing
I see my shoulder.
Part of you. You've got to go so you're in the middle. Live TV, folks. This is... Whoa, no. We disconnected her. All right. So while we're doing that, we're going to ask... There she is. She's back again.
Upside down.
And she's upside down. So this is great, folks. This is what live broadcasting is all about. We can probably fix Bonnie there. We just have to rotate her. She's now right side up. Whoop, boop, 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 boop. There we go. We just have to kind of tilt her over a little bit. We can't. So, all right. So Bonnie has been... Bonnie, why don't you do this? Why don't you go over to where Tracy is? And Tracy, when Bonnie's there, you could go to Bonnie and see if you could... kind of rearrange her camera there.
Okay. So it's going to be a little bit. I have to go through the scary part,
All right.
but I shall do it. It's
All
not a
right.
problem.
If you
Okay.
if you scream,
I
we'll
sent for reinforcements.
yes.
Okay. I
So
will take you, and you can see what we're looking at. Okay. Maybe.
all right. So actually, you probably don't need to take the camera.
I don't need to take the camera.
No, you want to leave the camera there and have someone else try to fix it so we can get that taken care of.
You know, I forgot to give you my credentials as far as a technical guru here. Just letting you know. That's what
Okay.
you're dealing with. Someone that has no clue.
Well, all right. Well, so Tracy, how are we doing today? How are you doing today?
I'm on the second floor, so I think I hear Bonnie coming up.
Oh, great. All right. Well, we'll cut to Bonnie as soon as she's there on the second floor, and she can tell us a little bit about the history. And there she is. There's Bonnie.
She is?
Here I am.
All right, Bonnie, come on in and let's see if we can do this here. Tracy, if you want to see how Bonnie's camera is doing on her end.
I don't know what.
And all right,
Oh,
so
yeah.
so we got the same problem with Bonnie's head being low on the screen. So if we can tilt that camera down a little bit, and
I
okay,
did it again.
that's good. Just leave it. Oh.
Okay. I'm not.
All right, perfect. That's perfect.
Yay.
Now you're there. Well, folks, I hope you're enjoying this fabulous ride here. Bonnie's going to tell us a little bit more about historic Palmyra and what's going on there and some of the places that you can see. Take it away, Bonnie.
Thank you. We are in the Historical Museum, which is 130th Street. It's 23 rooms of history from 1781 up until today, actually. We have themes of all kinds. I'm sitting in the doll room, not my favorite place to be. I have a young lady back here. Her name is Grace. And she follows me with her eyes, but it's okay. I'm going to deal with it. So this is our big museum. We next have the Erie Canal Depot. That was our last museum. That museum has a big bench. Yeah, it's beautiful. It was our tenant house. They used to keep mules in the basement. And that's where people would get tickets to ride on the Erie Canal. There's a barge whistle. We pride ourselves on original items and things that are basically to Palmyra. So if you see it, someone here owned it or it was in our buildings. We next have I don't know if you have this is our first museum. This is called the Ailing Coverlet Museum. And it's called Ailing because our first donations were from Mrs. Merle Allen. I know that some of you have heard that name from Encore Paper Company. Well, this Palmyra Ailing Coverlet Museum was the Palmyra Courier Journal print shop. And the Ailing Corey Paper Company was very involved in making paper for newspapers. And so that's what they did in that building. And when the ladies got to look at the building because it was being given to them, they tell me that they cried because the floor was black it looked like copy toner. And I know that we know what that stuff is like. And we have two floors. One is with quilts and one is with coverlets. We have the largest coverlet collection in the United States. And these coverlets are made of wool and cotton, and they go from about 1790 up to 1880. They've been used in so many things. They have been used in the Civil War. They've been used in the Revolutionary War. They have covered beds, covered wagons to hospitals. They have been used to lay the soldiers on, and we have many different spots, maybe some blood spots. We certainly have oil spots because you can't find a finer piece to empty your oil out of your car with. So people just don't know what they are, and they don't have the respect for them that we do. The next museum is our Palmyra print shop. I don't know if we talked about this at all with Chris, but this is an amazing place with printing presses and cutters, and we have book binders, just and type from 1810 up to I guess 1972. The type is handmade. We have the printing presses and cutters were made right here in Palmyra by the John M. Jones Company. These things will probably last for a million years because they are all simple machines made of iron and you can't do much to hurt them. The next museum, which we gathered in 1977, urban renewal came through here, and as many people know, the federal government decided that a lot of places had old things and they were dangerous and they weren't good. They needed new things. Strip malls. Upstate New Yorkers, don't we love strip malls? I think not. So they wanted to take Palmyra's Main Street, which is original to about 1820, 1830, and they wanted to tear it down. They wanted to tear Market Street down, which had all our museums, and William Street, which has our cover museum. Would have been dreadful. So Historic Palmyra, the local historic society in Palmyra, New York, said, no, we're not doing this. We need these buildings, and this is who we are. So the buildings were put together and cleaned up. I know that a lot of you live in areas where things have been let go, and you'll know exactly how things get run down and fall down, and they can become dangerous. But today, Palmyra, New York looks amazing. And on Market Street, which is the street between East Main Street, oh, there's Julius. Hi, Julius. Julius Phelps. He was an owner of the Phelps General Store. He was the owner after William Phelps, his father. And you are seeing what the store looked like in about 1868. And that is it in 2015. We've had to do a little bit of sprucing up, but it's a beautiful place. That's the dining room in the Phelps General Store, and it became their home on the second floor. Prior to that, it was a boarding house. This is all their china. That's my friend Sybil. Hi, Sybil. Sybil Phelps died when she was 81 years old. She was the last living person in the Phelps store and home. And she was all alone. She never left for any schooling. She wanted to go to school in New York City, but the flu came in 1918, and she had to go home. So she basically had no money. This is the store. This is all their stuff. This isn't stuff we put in here. These are things they sold in the Phelps General Store. You can picture William sitting at his desk. It's just an incredible place. And let's see, I think the Phelps General Store was in a terrible, terrible condition. Everything was rotting, and the curtains were rotting, the furniture was rotting, and all the community got together and helped put this stuff together so it's original, but now it's neat and it's clean. And
Bonnie,
we
how long?
are so proud.
How long did it take you to refurbish that store? That looks pretty neat.
The store that we refurbished took us from about 1990 to 2010. and it was
Wow.
a long road. It cost about $300,000. We got a few grants, which really helped. But I want you to know that everything that was done using the original materials. And if a ceiling was bad, we pushed it up so that the real ceiling is still there. But if someone gives us $1 million, should I say that again? If someone gives us $1 million, then we can take all of that stuff down, and the original ceilings, walls, floors, everything will just be fixed up a bit, and then you'll see 1868 building. Come on down and take a step back in time.
All right. Thanks, Bonnie. Well, we're going to take a break, but before we do that, I want to tell everybody you don't want to miss the next segment of the show because it's kind of spooky and it might just show evidence of supernatural beings. We'll be here right back on the State of Greater Western New York Report after this message.
Through the mists of time, nature and man have both created and buried treasures beyond the imagination. With the ages, these riches slowly dissolve into mere myths until they are forever forgotten. But there are those brave souls who tirelessly cling to the truth, ever seeking to discover the undiscovered, to reveal what has always been there, to uncover the hidden gems of a land thought forsaken but loved by millions. 50 Hidden Gems of Greater Western New York. Discover the secrets in your own backyard. Buy your copy now at 50hiddengems.com.
Hey, welcome back. This is the State of Greater Western New York Report, and with me now is Tracy Murphy. She's the Deputy Director of Historic Palmyra. Tracy, you're going to tell us a little bit about the nighttime. Okay, Bonnie told us about the daytime, what you can see in the daytime. You can tell us about what we maybe can't see, directly at least, in the nighttime. What's that all about?
So one of our claim to fame would be that we are historically haunted, which is pretty amazing when you have 5 museums and each of them have their own unique spirits. And so we offer paranormal investigations. Some people call them ghost hunts, but we're not hunting. But our spirits are very active, and not just at night, but during the day as well.
I was wondering, there's probably some history that goes back when it comes to the spiritualism movement and spirits. I believe, isn't there a story about a couple of sisters around there? I don't remember exactly where they're from.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about those.
So, well, one of the things that I should tell you about this building, where we are today, the Historical Museum, we have 6 children and a mom who are still spiritually here. They have made their appearance for many, many years, and fortunately it was a tragic event that happened in 1964 on this property. The building that we are in, this is not the original location for the building. We actually had it moved over here in the 70s. But in December 21st, 1964, the mother and her 6 children were home, and it was right before Christmas, and it was in the very early morning. There was a fire that started in the home, and sadly, all of the family perished in the fire. Some people think that it's a little suspicious. The dad was not home. He was actually coming home from being out of town, and when he got up on the main street, he saw the fire trucks down here on Market Street and decided to go to a friend's house. So unfortunately, a lot of suspicion came on the dad. This is a photo of the mom and the 6 children. The oldest was 8, although he will tell you he's 9. He was almost 9. And then the youngest was 2.
So they kind of hang out there still.
Absolutely, yes.
And so I've got a video here that I want to show people that you gave me. I'm going to play this video, and you can tell us a little bit about what is actually going on from what we see. So we're going to play this.
Okay, so what you're looking at here is an event, a paranormal event that happened on March 8th, and this was in 2019. We had 2 people that were here doing an investigation, and they were downstairs in another part of the building, and they left a camera up in one of the doll rooms. I'm sitting in one, but we have an adjoining room that is also the doll room. And what you see is the curtain pulling away from the window where the chair is. Now, what you may or may not see, because it does go into about 3 minutes into the video, there are blocks on top of the white white bookshelf to the right of the window. And the curtain is just going to continue to lift out and go down and lift out. And then eventually the blocks on top of the bookcase are going to go flying off. And what we did is we slowed it down and highlighted it so that people could see what is happening. And you can see they move and then they go flying off. And there is no one in the room. There they go.
And there's no wind or anything that's causing this.
No wind. There was, no wind. This particular bookshelf is actually slanted back so that things don't fall off of it. You'll see one of the investigators. He's going to come running up the hall, and his face is just priceless. He is a huge skeptic, and that's why he did this investigation. They're always trying to find the science or debunk things that happen, and this is one of those things that they could not find anything. Now, when Bonnie and I saw this, we came in the next morning and we were upstairs. We were standing behind the curtain. There he is looking. He's shocked. You actually see an orb go in front of the camera. Some of the blocks went right down the hallway. And they just could not figure it out. We kind of were thinking that maybe the kids were playing hide and go seek, and that maybe they got scared and ran out from the curtain and ran into the bookshelf. But that's just a very small part of what goes on here after hours. And I say after hours because, during the day we do like to have visitors come for the museums and visit our buildings and learn the history, which is absolutely amazing. But we do offer ghost and paranormal investigations. We try to do them like 6 p.m. to midnight or 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. And we do a lot of events that, kind of go around that whole paranormal side of.
I've got a question, Tracy, from one of the members in the audience. they wanted to know if you ever did you bring a psychic or a medium in to kind of talk about what just happened with the curtain and the blocks to try to explain why what happened happened?
Usually on a weekly basis, we have mediums and psychics that are in here. It's part of some of the groups that come in. And generally in the summer and most of the winter, we are pretty busy every weekend with our ghost investigations. We do have some people who come in that are sensitive and they're mediums, and they will try to talk to the children to see why, why is this going on, or why is this happening? And the kids are very good at communicating. We're pretty old school here. We don't have like a lot of the major TV show equipment. A lot of our spirits will talk to us using flashlights or dowsing rods that we use. We have pendulums. We like to do a lot of EVP sessions where we have a voice recorder, and so we'll ask a question. But for that particular event, it was just the feeling that we got that, the kids were playing, and maybe somebody was the lookout and they got scared and ran into the bookshelf.
A follow-up question someone had is are these scheduled tours, ghost tours that you have, and do you do anything, say, around Halloween?
Usually in October, we try to celebrate Sybil's birthday, which we are having her 126th birthday party this year. And if you're not familiar with how we celebrate Sybil's birthday, we generally invite 6 mediums to come to the Phelps General Store and Residence, and they set up in some of the bedrooms on the 3rd and 2nd floor, and they will give 10-minute readings. We do have a birthday party with food and birthday cake. And then towards the end of the evening, around 8 or 9 p.m., we will have gallery readings with a psychic medium. Her name is Carol Solinsky. She resides in Rochester.
I was going to ask, are they local or do they come from out of town? So, I mean, they're regional in the sense that they're from Western New York. So,
yeah,
well,
some of the mediums do come from Buffalo. But yes, we do schedule ghost investigations, paranormal investigations. You just have to call us, and we look at the calendar and we set you up.
All right. And what's your website that people can look you up?
We are on Facebook,
okay.
Historic Palmyra, and then we also have a historically haunted Palmyra page. And because our initials are HPI for Historic Palmyra Incorporated, when we participate in the world's largest ghost hunt, we become HPI, Historic Paranormal Investigators. So you can find us on Facebook. Our website for all of the museums and all the events that we have going on is www.historicpalmyrany.com, and that will direct you to all our events that are coming up. And one of the nice things about us is that we have air conditioning in the summer and we have heat in the winter, which is key.
No wonder why those ghosts are still there. They're an environmentally controlled.
They're a little spoiled.
Really. So, last question that somebody just asked on the screen here is, what's the best way to get there if they're coming from Buffalo?
Best way, jump on the thruway. You can get off in Manchester, and that will take you right into Palmyra. Once you get into Palmyra, you'll see four churches on the 4 corners. That would, and then you're just going to turn from there. It's very simple, very easy to get here.
Excellent. So I want to thank you, Tracy, and I want to thank Bonnie. I know she's probably hanging out in the back there. If she wants to poke her head in the screen, that's fine. Thank you both for participating in this week's State of Greater Western New York report. It's just amazing all the different things that are around here, both the history and beyond. that we can experience in the greater Western New York region. Again, if for anyone who'd like to be invited to participate on and in the audience, this is a live show every Thursday at noon. Just go to our website, stateof.greaterwesternnewyork.com, and you could sign up to be a member of the live audience. You'll be invited, and if you can show up, you can show up. If not, you could come the next week. But we do a lot of variety of shows here that range from travel, leisure, history, science, business, politics. You got it. We do it. And it's a lot of fun when we do it. So once again, Tracy, Bonnie, thank you for being on today's show. And it looks like Bonnie might be coming up on the second camera, but we're done. So
Oh.
thanks a lot for being on the show, and I'm sure we'll be hearing you perhaps later on. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you, Ken.